You know those moments when it feels like you're trying everything, but nothing seems to be working and you're not getting anywhere? You follow the plan, you push through the excuses, and you still don't see the progress that you hope for? That can feel defeating, right? And you know what else stings? It's the fact that you expected more from yourself. And that's what makes it harder is when you know that you didn't give it your all. Now, you probably were reflecting back and you're saying, well, I pretty much stuck to things. But if you're really radically honest with yourself and you start to think about it, you're like, maybe I skipped some workouts. Maybe my nutrition was off. Maybe that I had some stress. And you're in that space where the results seem so slow. Your efforts kind of feel wasted and motivation's nowhere to be found. Well, today we're going to talk about how to keep going when you feel off track. Have you ever been that direction where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm trying everything and I don't seem to be getting anywhere? Well, if you've been carrying that frustration and you're tired of this starting and stopping roller coaster, head over to talktoperry.com. We'll go through a better way to move forward without all the pressure, and we do that in 15 minutes. Talktoperry.com. If you're catching it on the web, you can see that in the lower third there, talktoperry.com. So what do you do when that disappointment hits? I mean, it's really easy to go to the extremes. You either double down on the plan, and now it seems too strict, or you give up too quickly and you become a master quitter. Many people I know become master quitters. I was one of them, but I wanted to break that habit. See, neither one of those, they actually help you. And this is when it's at this moment that you need to pause and get radically honest with yourself. Now, I know that's hard. Sometimes we get radically honest and we want to dismiss something. We don't want to put it on some other, put it on a circumstance or blame it on something else. But this isn't to blame. This is just to get clear. And I've been there myself. There was this stretch where I just felt like momentum. I was on fire, the workouts, tracking my food, feeling strong. Then I had some travels in there, I had some visitors come in, work got busy, and I slowly drifted out of rhythm. And I kept thinking, I'm going to be back on it. This is my time. I know how to get back on it. And then it would be like, well, it's a Monday thing. And I would even get on podcast episodes and say, stop putting things off till Monday. But it just seemed like I was going through the motions, but not really committing. And it took a bit of time to get radically honest with myself. That the weight didn't spike, but I really kind of felt heavy about it. Not physically, it was really mentally. Because I knew I wasn't showing up in the way I wanted to. I knew I was letting in sneaky calories, and I would justify them a little bit. I could work this off, no problem. I'm in shape, right? But the more I did that, the farther off I drifted for a few months. So, and the thing is, it seemed harder and harder to restart or to reconnect and dial things in. And I'm not saying it had to be super strict or anything like that, but I had to stop looking for that perfect window and just get into that moving again. Now, I exercise daily, but, even if it's messy with the food choices or the mindset habits, even if I didn't feel like it, I'm started showing up a little bit differently. And so if that's something, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but if it sounds like, hey, I need this sort of pause, that's why I encourage you, head over to talktoperry.com, because we help you align that energy so that you're not stuck trying to muscle through it and push through it. I know a lot of times people will be like, oh, it's just got to be the hustle. It's got to be the grind. But a lot of times we want to avoid that. We're like, oh, that just sounds hard. And what if it didn't have to be hard? Sometimes all it takes is one shift to get your fire back. So head over to talktoperry.com. Let's really connect with where your goals are and where you wanting to go and what's going on. All right. See, the biggest mistake people make when they feel off track, it's this assumption that we failed, right? But that's not it. It just means you're human. Now, I get it. Sometimes we will chalk things up to, oh, I'm being human. And then we'll rack it up to that habit of, well, I'm just being human. And we've got a lot of things that aren't getting us toward our goal. But no one stays perfectly locked in it all the time here. The difference really is how you respond. And if you can get radically honest and really respond with truth, with grace, and with a plan that actually fits your real life, well, then you don't stay stuck. You rebuild. And that's why that's why all this leads to a change that lasts. You don't need to fix everything in one day. I know a lot of us, we want to, right? You just need to stop hiding from it. Stop ignoring it. Stop blaming it on something else. Name what happened. Own it. Take responsibility for it. A lot of times people don't want to take responsibility for it. And then move forward without waiting for the perfect timing and the perfect alignment in your calendar, or just to dial into motivation, because you're not behind. You're just right on the time that you need to commit. And really, it does start with that decision too. So just know you can choose to use your power, take control, use this mindset strategy to keep going even when you feel off track, or you can give your power away using excuses, justifying, just drifting further and further off course, and not getting radically honest with yourself and letting those control you and drain your power. It really boils down to that decision and committing to yourself and your goals. And when I say committing, that means taking action and then choosing to figure out new ways, looking at possibilities, learning and growing, and keep moving forward. You've got this, my friend. I'd love to hear your top takeaway from today. You can drop those down in the comments. I promise I really will reply. And you absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to talktoperry.com. That's talktoperry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear, what's going on. I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness. I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff. And we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to upsidedownfit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find the show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.